So something that we do for all of our new clients is something that we like to call an HR integrity check. And we do this in two ways. We do it for new clients, and what it does is when we are talking with a company and they're interested in us running their human resources for them or working with them to help with their human resources, that puts a lot of risk on us. And so we need to know where we're starting from. And we go in and do what we call an integrity check to say, and we have a report after this check that says, here's where you're really strong and here's where we have some risk. And when we present a plan to get started by helping with HR or running their department, say we need to start with the high risk stuff first that typically lies in our compliance part. And Shannon will talk a little bit about that in a second. We also perform this integrity check for companies who maybe don't need help on the day-to-day with their HR, but they just want a second look or to get a report card of how are things going. I've looked at, when you look at something the same way, you look at the same data, you look at the same systems, you kind of become blind to holes in those systems or errors that you just done it that way for so long. So we can come into companies who have a full standing HR department and do what we call our integrity check to just provide a report card or a general pulse on how things are running within that department. So why don't you talk a little bit about what that integrity check looks like, everything that we look at, and we can just kind of discuss it as we go through.
Yeah, so I think the way we sort of present it to a new client, just like you said, is we let them know, look, we want to understand sort of the baseline, how, look under the hood, if you will.
Yeah.
So getting a good sense of what systems are in place, how they are using them, how they are maintaining records. And just like you said, we sort of come away after, call it a week or so of kind of our deep dive. We put together this report that really serves as a roadmap of, like you said, what are our most urgent and priority items that we need to be focused on, and how do we create sort of a roadmap through some things that would be really beneficial and we should definitely, be working on, but maybe are not as time sensitive as, something compliance related.
Right.
And so that really gives our client from the get-go a really clear understanding of, once we join, exactly what we're going to be doing, exactly where we're going to be bringing value. And there's no ambiguity about where do we start and how do we start? And because that can kind of be a tough transition for some people who are used to owning everything themselves and sort of passing it off. And so it's a really wonderful tool in that sense as well. But really, because we will be taking on such a liability with all of these things, it's really critical we understand some key areas. We look at compliance for employee records. We are looking at their interview process, their employee evaluation process. We are making sure that everything in terms of benefits administration is sort of up to par. We are looking at salary compensation. And so all of those things really, like you said, someone who's just been in it for 15 years and hasn't really taken a step back to reassess, maybe is blind to some of those areas where there have been new state labor laws that are in place, or new requirements, or better practices in how you are, like we were just talking about, how you're conducting effective employee training or evaluations. And so I think we can come in and really put together a strong strategy to identify those opportunities for improvement and then act quickly on them.
Yeah, I think the other value that we can bring in that integrity check is we're comparing size of clients to other clients of the same size when we're looking at benefits and going into the market. So sometimes people have worked with the same broker for a really long time and they trust them, and every renewal they're just okay with that 10 or 15% increase, and that's what we typically tell our clients to prep for. But we're coming in with a fresh set of eyes on everything, especially in the benefit world, to say, we work with a lot of brokers, we can really press that and make sure that the amount of money that you're paying for your people in the comp review And the second most expensive cost likely of your business is their health insurance, to make sure that you're competitive within other companies of the same kind of census area. And that is, I think, a valuable look that it's not comfortable to tell the broker that you've worked with for 10, 12, 15 years, like, we're going to challenge you a little bit. When we come in out of the blue, we are completely unbiased and we can say, hey, yeah, we're going to challenge this a little bit, and just make sure that the client is getting all around the best view of benefits and salary comps and anything else that they're working on while taking a look at their compliance.
Yeah. And you are humble, but I will just say that that's one of the areas that I think you provide the most value to clients. Is you really are so strategic and aggressive when you go out and you're shopping the market for them, and you are able to really provide them cost savings in a way that I think they are shocked, because either they weren't aware they should be having those conversations, or they're just not comfortable rocking the boat with those long-standing existing relationships that they might already have. And so you're able to come in and really facilitate conversations. I think that wouldn't happen otherwise.
I agree, and thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we love to do integrity checks. We think it's a great baseline, it's a great pulse, and it's a great way to just kind of take the temperature of your business as far as your HR compliance goes.